Story time on how me and my friend just got flown out to Miami by random guys we've never met before, and then the guys ended up kicking us out of the Airbnb we were all staying in, leaving us to fend for ourselves in Miami. This might have been the weirdest, most side quest filled trip I've ever been on in my entire life. By the end, it definitely turned out to be one of the best. But basically, if you didn't watch my airport video, there's this guy that my friend had met like maybe once, and then randomly he just sent her flowers from all the way in Miami and then asked her if she wanted to come to Miami if he flew her out. I was on the phone with her at this time, and she jokingly asked like, oh, can my friend come? And then he was like, yeah, we'll fly her out too. And she's like, wait, do you want to go to Miami? And I was like, girl, why would I not want to go to Miami? I've never been to Miami before. And these guys have like private jets and stuff. Their jets weren't available, so literally he got us on the next flight at like 11:40. At the time, it was already like 9 p.m. So within the next 2 hours, we literally packed. She drove all the way to my place, and then we got to the airport just in time to get on our flight. It was an overnight flight, so we ended up landing in Miami the next day at like 7 a.m. And then these guys picked us up in a Rolls Royce. I had never been in a Rolls Royce before, so I was just like, oh. And he had a friend there, which I didn't even know until we were already like on our way to the airport. So I was like, oh, okay, this is good. I was gonna go either way. I will say, when we met them, definitely not our type, but they're very nice, and you know, they're paying for a trip for us in Miami, so we're just gonna have a good time. So they bring us back to the hotel. A very, very, very nice hotel, high up in the air. The view is on the water. It's absolutely gorgeous. Everybody ends up taking a nap because it was literally an overnight flight. Then once I get up, his friend was like, hey, do you want to come to the car dealership with me? Like, everyone's basically sleeping. If you want to come, you can. So I was like, sure. So he brings me to like the Lambo car dealership just to look around, and then he takes me out to eat. I think we went to like the Trump Tower or something, or it was like right by that, and then we went out on the beach and ate food. It was nice. So then we all met up and we went shopping that night. We went out to dinner. Super nice guys, paid for everything, very accommodating. And then that night, me and my friend went down to the lobby by ourselves to like do some work and work on social media stuff. And then when we came back up, they were in separate beds. One of them was in me and my friend's bed, so we looked at each other like, oh no. So at that point, there was like really nothing you could do about it. So we kind of just took one for the team, you know, whatever. I was not about to cuddle, kiss, do anything with this man, so whatever. We're all sharing a hotel room. It doesn't matter. Next day, we all sleep in, and then we go out to dinner. Keep in mind, me and my friend really wanted to go to this restaurant called Sexy Fish, but they ID after 8, and obviously we're underage. We were super bummed, but we ended up going to a different restaurant. Then at the same time, on the way to dinner, we had to pack up all our stuff in the hotel room because they ended up canceling it, and we got an Airbnb for that night and the rest of the week. Super nice dinner, had a blast. After dinner, we all went to Topgolf, had a blast. Went back to the Airbnb, went in the hot tub, did karaoke. It was honestly like a really fun night. Yet again, they went to separate bedrooms. I don't know, it was just like such an awkward situation, and me and my friend are not like that. I feel like they should have at least talked about it with us, but then also me and my friend are really awkward when it comes to that stuff, so we were just like, what do we do? We were like, should we meet up on the couch at night? Like, it was so awkward and like uncomfy. But they were really nice though, at least, so like it's not like we were worried about anything. The next day we ended up going to the beach, which I just took a nap on the beach because I was so tired, and then we all went back, and my friend's bosses live out there, so they wanted to have like an in-person meeting, and they said I could come. So we ended up going out to like a late dinner with them, like 9 p.m. in Miami. And then after the dinner, we were planning on meeting up with one of my friend's friends. I'd never met them before, but she knew them. The guy that flew her out was kind of salty about that, but like, gosh forbid 2 girls are stuck with you for a week and a half in Miami and just want to go see their friends for one night. The guys are just like, oh, we're staying in because we don't go out, whatever. And then basically we're out at the business dinner, whatever you want to call it, and randomly, I'm pretty sure the Lambo that they were driving speeds past us. All of a sudden, they're in our area and just text, we're at Sexy Fish, which is the restaurant we wanted to go to. And their location was like around us all night because we had one of the guys' locations. It was just weird. So then after the business dinner, we ended up going over to the friend's house. This is what I mean by you can meet literally anybody in Miami, because there's something I've been planning to work on for months now and that I want to launch for the New Year's. At the house we went to, I literally met a guy that is going to help me set this up completely. I'm so excited. We literally stayed up from like midnight to 10 a.m. We did not sleep talking about this business plan. It's actually so insane. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I want it to be a surprise and I'm still working on things. Anyway, we were on our way back to the Airbnb in the morning. We didn't even sleep. We just stayed out with our friends, and the guys literally said that was fine because we said that might happen. Keep in mind, the whole time also when we were like making plans, the guys kept asking like, oh, can we come to the business dinner? Oh, can we come to your friend's house? Which like is fine, but it's like, no. Anyway, we're on our way back, and then all of a sudden we get a text from the guy that flew her out, and it was like, you're so disrespectful. I thought you were a better person than this, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, what are you talking about? And he's like, it's fine. We were planning on kicking you guys out anyway. And we were just like, what? He was literally being so rude out of nowhere. Keep in mind, their location all night when we were gone was at the U Miami like freshman dorms. I don't know, like, it was so weird. We asked the friends that we were with the night before, like, hey, can we stay with you till we leave, because these guys are being absolute assholes. So we literally booked an Uber back to the Airbnb, packed up our stuff so quick, and dipped it. I get they're like millionaires and whatever, but you can't talk to girls that make their own money, have their own career, and own friends like that and expect them to stick around, because we're type of girls that do not play around when it comes to disrespect. So if you're gonna disrespect us, goodbye, don't ever talk to us again. And that's exactly what we did. We didn't really care anyway, because we were pretty uncomfortable the whole time, and her other friends were like way more fun. But yeah, so we left the Airbnb, and then they were like begging us to come back, and his other friend that was like technically with me was like, I'm so sorry he did that, I had no idea, I'm not like that. And I was like, sorry, bye, like, I don't know what to tell you. Don't threaten to kick somebody out and be rude if you're not going to, because we're the type of girls that just like actually won't come back. And we didn't. The rest of the time we had fun. We ended up in like Fort Lauderdale like 2 nights. The craziest things happened, but that's like a whole separate story. The only thing I got out of this trip is what I want to launch for you guys, all in writing and all planned out for this month, and I am super excited because I cannot wait to tell you guys what's coming.
My 9 to 5 is basically what started my eating disorder, so let's talk about it. I started a 9 to 5 job a week after I moved to Charlotte. Prior to that, I was living in Arizona post-grad, and I didn't have much of a schedule or anything. I was really lean and fit before I moved here just because I was eating the same things every day. I don't know, I just didn't have struggles with food whatsoever. Like, I didn't even really think about it. Like, I just wanted to look good, feel lean and everything. Nothing really triggering or anything. Then I moved here, and I tried eating the same exact way without really realizing my life has completely changed. I was waking up at 4:30 every single morning, working a 9 to 5 job in my car all day, field sales, worst thing ever. I would go to the gym in the morning at like 5, would have breakfast at 7. I literally just wouldn't bring a lunch. So from 7 to 3, I did not eat anything. This caused so much food noise that I didn't realize was happening at the time, because I was just trying to stay lean and everything. And I was like, oh, I can just go without food, because I didn't know how to pack a lunch. And I was just like, oh, I won't bring any snacks. I'll just wait until I get home to eat. So I would go 8 hours without eating, and I would literally be like starving myself throughout that time. And my food noise got so insane. At the time, I didn't even know what it was. And then I started binging. I would have my dinner, and then I would keep eating, and I didn't know what this was either until I saw it a little bit on my For You page, but I didn't really know what the term binging was. One day I was craving crumble, and I didn't let myself get it because I was like, no sweets. I'm not allowed to have that. Like, I need to get lean again. I need to look better, X, Y, and Z. So then I went to the store, and I got Elizabeth granola, and I was like, ooh, I'm excited. I'm going to try this for my first time. And then I tried it, and it was amazing. And I told myself I need to pre-portion this out so that I don't eat a lot of it at a time, you know? I started portioning it out. I was making a TikTok about it. I portioned out maybe like 3 portions, and then I just kept eating out of the bag. And then I had the whole bag of Elizabeth granola. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not feeling my best. But once I started, I physically could not stop. And then in my mind, I just kept thinking, well, if I just finish this bag, then it'll be gone, and it'll be out of sight, out of mind. And this can just be like a cheat day. Like, I just had that. When I literally could have just had a crumble cookie. Why did I not do that? But that, again, goes with that restrictive mindset that I was forcing myself to have, that I didn't even realize was an issue at the time. But I was restricting so much in my day-to-day life that I caused for myself binging, food noise. And it wasn't until I posted about it that I realized so many hundreds of thousands of other people had the same exact issue. There's so many different reasons that this could start, but literally mine started because I was so restrictive during my like 9 to 5 time. And then what I really realized was when it wasn't getting better, I was so anxious about this job all the time. Like, my Oura Ring stats, I was between 5 and 12 hours of stress every single day. That is not healthy. I don't know if that raised my cortisol levels, whatever it raised or did to my body. My mental health was declining, and I was not feeling like myself whatsoever. I feel like I could not be happy because I was thinking about food 24/7. And so I was underlyingly stressed over this job because it caused me so much anxiety every single night. I didn't want to wake up and do the job. Right when I was done with my day of work, I couldn't chill. Like, I had no chill because I was thinking, I have to wake up tomorrow and I have to drive in my car for work. I had no peace. I didn't feel at peace literally once. And that's when I told myself I need to quit. Literally right now, I cannot do this anymore. My life completely changed, like, for the better after I quit that job. But the anxiety stuck with me. I have never felt this amount of anxiety and stress in my life. And I was unemployed and I was fine. Like, I was still like had money. Like, that wasn't a concern, and I felt just this level of stress that I did not even know was possible. But looking back, it was all anxiety. And I did not get help from myself until I finally could not take it any longer. I was like, I need something. Like, something in me is just not right. I do not feel like myself. And I just cannot do this for any longer. Then that's when I realized all of this was rooted from anxiety, and all this anxiety and built up everything came and stemmed from this 9-to-5 job that was underlyingly literally ruining. I kept thinking, I'm like, I love my life and everything in it. Like, why am I stressed? Why am I freaking out about my day to day? And that's when I realized that it was my job that caused it.
Quick question. Has anybody else found their dad and their childhood best friend hooking up inside their house? No? Okay, well, I have, so let me tell you about it. So a little background information. I was about 27 or 28 whenever this whole thing happened, but we have to rewind so I can give you all a little backstory on Eden. Because I'm not gonna lie, she was the last person that I expected this from. Now, when I tell you that Eden and I have been childhood best friends, I mean since we came out the womb, okay? And don't get me wrong, this situation was absolutely awful, but what makes it worse is that this was literally like my sister, okay? My parents basically half raised her. But Eden and I were two very different kids. She was super shy and timid and got bullied a lot. I, on the other hand, had no problem standing up to her bullies for her and literally beating the shit out of them with their own textbook, which actually happened. I did not play about her. Period. Fast forward, her and I both get into Lane Tech, which is a really good school. We graduate from there, and then we both get into DePaul University. I major in finance, she majors in accounting, and after we graduated from there, we both drifted apart, which I wasn't mad about. You know, it made sense. We were both living our own lives, adulting. And then fast forward, I had to go on this mandatory business trip. I didn't want to go, but I was on thin ice at work because I had reported something to HR about this one guy that I work with, and he said that I was lying, so they wanted to fire me. Gotta love men. Anyway, so I go to the bar and I'm ordering drinks, and then all of a sudden I see someone sit next to me and I realize that it's Eden. We're talking, and then we're like, damn, like I forgot how we even lost contact, blah blah blah. And then I realized that she only lives 4 blocks from me, so I'm like, oh shit, we definitely need to hang out. Fast forward, one night I'm just chilling at home and my parents come by unannounced. So you know, I'm talking with my mom in the kitchen and my dad is sleeping on the couch, and while my mom and I are talking, I bring up that I ran into Eden. And y'all, as soon as I said this, my dad woke dead up out of his sleep. Literally, Eden? Like, bitch, lay back down, you weirdo. It was weird as hell. He was like, oh my gosh, Eden, you talked to Eden? How is she? And then my mom was saying that she stalked her on Facebook not that long ago, and apparently she's married. Which is weird because sis didn't have a ring on when I saw her. But you know, none of my business. So then my dad's on about, oh my gosh, when's the last time you seen her? How is she? What does she look like now? And I'm like, why do you give a fuck? But then again, he did practically half raise her, so I was like, you know, maybe he just cares. Maybe he cares. He doesn't give a fuck. He only wants the buck. Anyways, so this has me thinking I should make a dinner reservation for all of us so we can all reconnect and hopefully I can meet her fiance. Here's the thing about me. Whenever I go out, I dress to impress. Okay, I don't care if we're going to Walmart. I don't care if we're going to Goodwill. I'm always going to be dressed to the nines just because that's how I am. So I get to dinner and I see Omari, which is Eden's husband, and y'all, that man was fine as hell. Okay, like he was my type. Like, he had a perfect smile, he dressed good, super respectful, and the conversation was tea. And listen, my mom loved him, my brothers loved him, my sisters loved him. Everybody absolutely adored him, except for my dad. Little, sus if you ask me. But here I am once again thinking, oh my gosh, my dad's just overprotective of his second daughter. No! Because why would it ever be that? Disgusting. He was actually really nice. He went up to him. He was like, hi, it's so nice to meet you, sir. Your daughter was telling me about all your businesses and how successful you are, blah, blah, blah. Instead of my dad saying, thank you, he looks at him and he's like, boy, what my daughter talks about and tells you about me is none of your goddamn business. What is wrong with you? Anyways, yeah, he was rude as hell, but other than my dad acting like that, dinner was a success. Fast forward, the one day Eden and I are at our friend Valerie's house. And this is whenever I ask Eden when she got married. Because I'm like, I didn't see you with a wedding ring on whenever we were at the bar that night. When did you guys get married or engaged? And here's the thing. I don't give a fuck what she was doing. She could have told me that she was cheating on her man. I wouldn't care. It's not my business. So she tells me that he proposed to her right after she graduated college, which doesn't make any sense because she was a loner the whole time in college, and that still would have meant that she would have had the ring on when I saw her at the bar. So it was just low-key really weird. Whatever, we just go on about our day, but then there's a random knock on the door, and it's my dad. And I'm like, why are you here? And he's like, oh, well, I just wanted to drop a gift off to Eden real quick. So fast forward, the one night Eden needs help with this work analysis that she had to do. So she comes to my house, and Amari tags along, which I did not mind having his fine ass in my house. After helping her with it, I get tired, so I go to take a nap. And of course, I wake up to them arguing. And then I hear the door ring. I open the door, and it's my dad. And I'm pissed because I've been seeing way too much of this man for the past few weeks, okay? Like, sir, go get a life, please. So he tells me he needs to talk to Eden, and in my head, I'm like, how do you even know she's here? Like, would you have just showed up and waited for her to come to my house? A little bit sus if you ask me. I'm still disoriented because I'm tired as fuck, so I don't even question it, and I literally just go lay on the couch, and then I see Amari come in. He lays on the other couch, because mind you, it's actually really late. Like, nobody should be at my house right now. We knock out and we wake up at probably like 2 a.m. because we hear forks and knives and just silverware clanking together. We both look at each other like, what the is going on? What is that? Yeah, well, I saw the last thing that I expected to see whenever I opened my fucking double doors up to my kitchen. I see Eden and my dad on my counter. Y'all, to say that I was traumatized is like an understatement, okay? Because I don't mean to be TMI, but when I walked in there, as bad as that was, it was even worse when my dad pulled away because I just saw everything. So I fight her because what else do you do in that situation? Like I told y'all, I was confrontational. So the only thing I knew how to do was just start throwing hands. I beat her up. She had a busted lip, black eye. Omari took care of my dad, as he should, because I'd be kind of turned off if he just let some random old dude F his wife. He beat him up so bad that he had to go to the hospital. Omari immediately divorced Eden, as he should. Obviously, I have to tell my mom, so she divorces my dad, as she should as well. Everybody cut Eden off. Even my grandma, which is crazy because my grandma is all about that forgiveness bullshit. Eden actually got pregnant by my dad. And that's why he was showing up and seeing her so much. Because I think he was trying to talk her out of having the baby. Pretty messed up shit. He pressed charges on me, but I only spent like 1 night in jail. But Omari and I actually had a happy ending because he ended up getting a job at my mom's shop. And him and I, we started hanging out more. I'm not gonna lie, I knew he was gonna be my man. Like, I knew the first time that I met him at dinner. We started spending more time together and we fell in love with each other. We got married, we have a nice, beautiful house, and now we have a baby boy on the way. Now, will I ever speak to my dad or Eden ever again? I don't know about my dad, but Eden probably most definitely not, okay? And before y'all say anything, the man, the woman, we always do this. No, okay? I'm not forcing myself to talk to that hoe. She's not my family. My dad, on the other hand, if my siblings still want to talk to him, then the ones who get it. The ones that don't, okay? Yeah.
I want to start this story off with saying my former roommate did not have a bank account, okay? It's a really long story. Her ID was expired. She's not from Florida. Her social, like, there's so many pieces to this story, but she was getting her direct deposit sent to her sister. Her sister and her got into some argument and she started sending her paychecks to me. Earlier this year, around February, she says, hey, Karika, can we talk? I'm like, what's up? She goes, I want to move out. I want to move closer to my family. I'm like, okay, bet. I understand. No big deal. Our lease was over in May. So we had February, March, April, and May was the last month that we were staying in the apartment. So after February, March was fine. She paid her rent. I paid my rent. Rent is $1,700. I pay $850. She pays $850. But she keeps talking about how expensive her move is going to be. She's moving out of the state. She's leaving Florida. And she's like, it's going to be so expensive. I don't know how I'm going to afford it. I'm stressed out. I don't know how I'm going to pay for the gas, the U-Haul. Like, she's just really stressed out about this move. Me and her are both moving. So I understand that both of our finances are kind of tight right now. One day I was working. At this time, I worked from home. So I'm just, typing, working, getting stuff done. I hear a knock on the door and it's the leasing office giving us an eviction letter. But I knew this was going to happen. I was planning on being late because I had other things to pay for, so it's not an issue. I'm planning on paying my half of the rent probably in a few days. But she's just like, honestly, Karika, like, I can't pay this right now. I have to prepare for my move. We're just going to have to get evicted. I can't pay it. Literally, verbatim, she says, we're going to have to get evicted. There's so much going through my head. I'm like, how do I get out of this lease? Am I going to have to find a way to pay her rent? Like, what am I going to do? Because I'm moving out on my own. She's moving back to her parents' house. She don't give a fuck as long as she goes back home. So I hit up my leasing office and I explained to them what's going on. In my leasing office, like, they have my back because I'm a good tenant. They're like, unfortunately, you won't be able to get out of the lease unless she approves it. And she's not going to approve it because she's not going to let herself be screwed over without me being screwed over too. You know what I'm saying? We still need a place to stay till May. She's like, I can't pay this rent, blah, blah, blah. Everything's so expensive. I don't know how I'm going to do the move. I can't even afford the U-Haul. I can't afford gas. Like, she's just saying everything is so expensive that she's not going to be able to pay rent, but you're going to have to pay the rent. And she does because we need somewhere to stay until May. Also, she's making her move back home into this huge road trip. A family member is helping her come down. They're booking hotels. They're booking Airbnbs. She's buying portable chargers. She's buying first aid kits. Like, she's really making this a trip. Take your ass home. April is paid for. She complained the whole entire time, but she paid the April rent. We have one more month. Literally May, and we're done. Lease is over. We can go our separate ways. And she said, Karika, I cannot pay anything. $1,700. I said, can you at least pay $100? She said, no, I really can't. I have to pay for the U-Haul. Like, I really can't. I said, okay, bet. I told her I'm not comfortable getting evicted, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay it, but I'm gonna need that money back. And she goes, okay, I promise I'll pay you back, but I'm not gonna be able to pay you back till July. I guess she doesn't want to go home because her grandma's there. She don't like her grandma, so she's going to book another Airbnb and stay there for months until her parents come back, and then she'll go live with her parents. Literally the biggest nonsense ever. It's like she forgot that we were both moving out, not just her, and she's going back to her parents' house. I'm getting my own place. I found my new apartment. I put the deposit down. I pay the rent for me and her. I pay $1,700 on top of what I just paid to move in. Couldn't move until here until I had a zero balance at the old apartment. So I am broke. I have no money. Anyways, I move in around May something. I move in whatever. And then I remember she was getting her last paycheck, I think, Tuesday. I was moving in on Monday. I was moving in on Tuesday. She was getting her last paycheck Wednesday. And I was like, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my half of the rent. I told her I made the executive decision to keep the half of the rent because you thought it was okay to get me evicted. You're selfish. You don't care about me. You don't care about my future. And I'm done with you. She gets paid Wednesday. I keep my $850 plus the late fee. Send her the rest of the money. Block her. And I don't give a damn. Everything's out of the house. I never have to see you again. Lease is done. Me and you are no longer roommates. And after you try to evict me, we will never be friends. She probably wouldn't want to talk to me after I kept the money, but still, not the point. She's livid. I get it, which is why I blocked her, because I'm not going to have you calling me a million times. But she sends me the longest freaking email that she knew I wasn't going to read. She knew it. I read probably 2 sentences and she said, you're despicable. You're a disgusting person. I can't believe you would do that to me. Now I'm fucked over because of you. I was going to be fucked over because of you. I don't know what the fuck happened to her after the day I moved in here, but in this situation, either I was going to be screwed over or she was. And unfortunately, it wasn't going to be me this time.
Why do boys not get the hint? I just had the most awkward actually not even awkward, just uncomfortable, uneasy interaction in the Walmart parking lot. I am still like kind of shaken up from it. Like, I felt so uneasy. I was sitting in my car after being in Walmart and I see this guy like putting like promotional little things on people's car. And I'm like, frick, he's gonna come to my car. So he comes over to my car, like knocks on my window. My car's off, so I open my door because my windows don't work when my car's off. Why did I just turn on my car and roll down my window? I don't know. But That was not smart of me. I opened my door and I'm like, hello. And he's like, hey, like, here's, like, my business card. Like, I just started this business. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, thanks. And then he's like, your car smells really good. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then he was like, can I show you, like, it on Maps? And he said Google Maps, so I just heard Google. And, okay, this guy was Indian, so he had a really heavy accent. So it was, like, kind of hard to understand him sometimes. So I just heard Google, and I was, like, going on Google. And he's like, no, Maps. So I go on Apple Maps because I don't have Google Maps. Like, why the frick would I get another map app when I already have Apple Maps? Anyways, he's like, no, Google Maps. And I was like, I don't have Google Maps. I was like, this is the only maps I have. And so he's like, here, like, go on Google and look up Maps. And he was like, what perfume is in your car? And I was like, oh, it's like a car Scentsy. I actually got from here. Like, it's like cactus flower or something like that. He was like, well, how am I supposed to remember what it is? Like, can I take a picture of it? And I was like, oh, I don't have the packaging, but, like, let me look it up on Google. So I'm, like, looking it up. And he's like, by the way, like, you're so pretty. And, like, I'm, like, so attracted to you. First of all, ding-a-ling-a-ling, freaking alarms going off in my head. Hello? Why would you phrase it like that? But I was like, oh, thank you. So then, like, I pull up, like, the air freshener. And I show it to him, and I was like, here's what it is. And he, like, takes a picture, and he goes, can I take you out on a date? And this guy looked old. He looked old. And I was like, oh, how old are you? He was like, well, how old are you? And I was like, 16. I'm not 16. I'm actually 17, and I turned 18 in, like, 5 months, but, you know, like, trying to lowball my age because what the frig, I don't want to go out with you. And he was like, are you single? And I was like, yeah. I should have said I had a boyfriend. What am I doing? Actually, what am I doing? I've learned nothing. So I tell him I'm single and that I'm 16, and he's like, oh, I'm 19. Well, I'm 18, but I turned 19 in 6 months. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, yeah, I don't think we should go out. I think I'm too young for you. And he was like, what? He's like, it's only 2 years. He's like, that's not that much. And I was like, no, like, it's okay. And so then I tried to change the subject. And I was like, well, I'll have to, like, check out your business and whatever. And he was like, yeah. He's like, well, if you come in, like, I'll do it to you for free. And I was like, that's cool. I was like, well, then I'll have to stop by, like, trying to just, like, end the convo and, like, be nice, but also be like, okay, like, I'm done. And then he was like, well, I can do, like, a spiritual reading right now. And I was like, oh, sick. And then he was like, can I come in your car? You cannot come in my car. And I was like, no. I was like, you can just stay out here. He's like, okay. And then, like, gives me a reading, and it's just, like, staring at me, like, in the weirdest, like, I don't even know, like, the weirdest way. And as he's, like, doing this, like, futuristic reading on me, and I'm just, like, smiling and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that's sick. Like, I'm like, I'll definitely have to come check you out. Like, trying to just, like, shut my door and get out. And then he's like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just so attracted to you. Like, your smile is just so beautiful. Like, the minute, like, I saw you, like, I just became attracted to you. Like, I don't know what it is. And I was like, thanks. He's like, are you sure we can't go on a date? Like, can I get, like, let me get your number and we can go on a date. And I'm like, no. I was like, I'm too young for you and you're too old for me. I'm like, it's okay. And he was like, well, like, I turned 18, like, 2 months ago. You're turning 19 in 5 months, whatever you said to me. Therefore, no way you could have turned 18 only 2 months ago. Therefore, you're lying about your age. The frick? You're trying to molest me. The frick? And I was like, no, like, it's okay. And he's like, well, can you, like, you should help me get a girlfriend. Like, you could just be my girlfriend. No, I don't want to go out with you. Leave me alone. I was like, I think I'm gonna go, but thanks. And he's like, okay. And I just, like, shut my door and lock it, and I just go out of there. I literally have zero survival instincts. Thank goodness I didn't say he could come in my car, but gang, actually, what the frick? What the frick?